Hey everybody, glad you're with us for the show today. I'm Chad Ferguson again, filling in for Barry Stokes, and we're on Lake Texoma, going out to see if we can catch some of these big monster blue catfish that Lake Texoma is just full of. I'm hoping I can find these fish in their fall and winter patterns. Now the weather's been a little bit crazy. It's really warm right now for November, but I'm thinking based on the results I've had the last few days on some of the other waters that I fish that we can get out here and find some nice catfish. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey, I'm Chad Ferguson. I'm a guide in North Texas. I own and operate North Texas Catfish Guide Service. I guide across the Dallas-Fort Worth and North Texas area on a number of different lakes. And I also own and operate a business called Catfish Edge. So if you want to get more details about fishing with me or just learn how to go out and catch more and bigger catfish on your next fishing trip, you can head over to catfishedge.com and learn more. And check out all the products that I've designed as well while you're there. I'm on Lake Texoma today on the border of Texas and Oklahoma. It's a world-renowned striper fishery, but what a lot of anglers don't know is it's an excellent catfish lake as well. It even produced a world record catfish years ago of 120 plus pounds that has since been broken. We're gonna go out and do some drift fishing today, see if we can show you how to catch some of these big blue catfish in their fall and winter pattern. Now, in addition to all that, we'll have all your latest fishing reports from across the region and tons of other tips to help you go out and catch more catfish. So while I go out to get set up, let's go out to your weekly planner.
The Salooner tables are indicating that both days of the holiday weekend will provide fair game fish activity. Peak times on Saturday will start at 5:40 a.m. and 6:03 p.m., while Sunday's best action should begin at 6:26 in the morning and again at 6:49 in the evening. Expect the sun to rise at 7:07 and set at 5:22. And evenings will feature a crescent moon that is 41% visible. Stay with us. We've got fishing reports from all over the area on the way. Plus, Bassmaster elite angler Keith Combs will join us for this week's Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
So I'm on Lake Texoma this morning, heading out to see if we can't catch some monster blue catfish. We've had some crazy weather this week. Early in the week, temperatures were down in the mid-30s, low 30s, and we had some really cool nights. And then all of a sudden yesterday, we had this freak Texas warm front come through, and it was like 85 degrees, and it's supposed to be 90 today. It may throw the fish into a little bit of a shock, confuse them a little bit, but I've started to see the fish moving into a fall and winter pattern over the last week, and I've been catching some excellent numbers of big blue catfish over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and really found them moving into their winter pattern. So we're gonna go out, see if we can't find those fish in deep water today and do some drift fishing. I'm just gonna put drift socks on the side of the boat and slowly drag baits across the bottom, try to see if we can't catch some of these monster blue catfish. So let's go out for a quick break while I get out on the lake and get set up.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Motor Guide, because accuracy matters. Lowrance Electronics, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate. And Excite Technologies, powering the world forward.
This water's good and warm, so he's nice and feisty. Oh yeah, that's a good fish. All right, here we go. We got a fish on, and I'm just out here drifting in this deeper water. I pulled out here, drove around, used my sonar, trying to find some larger catfish and bait, looking for active feeding fish on my fish finder. And it took me a while to find them, and the ones that I did find are real scattered. So I just kind of threw my drift socks out, started covering water. This is a pretty good fish. It's got some shoulders on it. And we had lots of little bitty bites, but weren't really getting any real good bites. They were just pecking at the baits. So I downsized my baits just a little bit, and nothing changed. So we'll see if that makes any difference. It's gonna take me a little while to get this in, so I'm gonna let you go out and catch your local fishing reports while I try to get this fish in the boat.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Sports Southwest Fishing Report. I tell you what, it's a little breezy today, the wind's blowing a little bit. Hope everyone had a good, happy Thanksgiving. I tell you what friends, we've got a couple of really good reports this week. The flounder run, as you know, is on pretty strong here on Calcasieu Lake. Matter of fact, the last few weeks it's been strong. Captain Kevin and Captain Freddie Beard went out yesterday. They had no trouble getting their limit of 20. And here in Louisiana, keep in mind, it is 10 per person. And like I said, this wind is horrendous right now. So naturally, we don't have any boats out there today pounding the water, but it's been really good and it's going to continue to get good. So here in Southwest Louisiana, you want to catch some good flounder, I'd book a trip right now. As far as bass fishing goes, I talked to Jordan Gilchrist. Him and Ryan Pinkston went up to Toledo Bend fishing 18 to 20 foot of water, throwing crankbaits, caught some tremendous bass. I mean, they landed 45, but they kept a good, nice mess of big old bass. They had a good trip. So Toledo Bend's hot right now. Southwest Louisiana's hot. I tell you what, friends, you're not catching fish right now, you ain't going fishing. Give us a call, 337-540-5530. Till next week, this is old Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin saying happy fishing, may God bless. And you know what? We're going to see you next week right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Bye-bye.
All right, there we go. So I'm still working on this one, and it's taking me a while to get it up. It feels like a pretty good fish, not wanting to come up off the bottom. And this water's good and warm, so he's nice and feisty. Oh yeah, that's a good fish. Oh my goodness. That is what we're looking for. So there we go. That is what we're looking for. That is a good wintertime catfish right there. Can't ask for much better than that. And he put up a tussle. I didn't think I was going to get him in the boat. When this water's warm like it is right now, these fish are really, really feisty. And the colder it gets, their metabolisms will slow down. They get a little bit easier to get into the boat. I want to tell you real quick, if you're going to fish for these big catfish or catch these big catfish, how important it is that you put these fish back in the lake. These fish, it takes a long time for them to grow to these sizes, and they're not easily replaced. So you want to make sure that you throw them back and leave them out there, not only so other anglers can enjoy to catch them, but to keep the lakes populated with smaller blue catfish. So I'm going to get a weight real quick, put this one back in the water. While I do that, let's go to a quick commercial break, and then I'll be back with some more Lake Texoma catfish action. There we go. That's another good bite right there. There we go. That's another good bite right there. That fish isn't quite as big as that other one that I caught, but it's got some tug to it. We've had a little bit difficult time getting in fish. We caught that first really big fish, and then the wind really laid down on me and quit blowing. It was blowing like 35 miles an hour this morning when we first got on the water, and then it settled down a little bit, and then it really laid down a lot. And then about 2 hours ago, the wind shifted directions on me. And that usually makes for some tough catfishing when that wind shifts directions like that. It takes a little bit for those fish to move around and get resituated. Sometimes they'll move a whole lot, sometimes they'll just move a little. But good, consistent wind, well, that feels like a pretty good fish there. Good, consistent wind is always going to be better for catfishing. There we go. That's a good fish. Keep my net out in front of the camera there. It would work a lot better. Let's get him in the boat here. There we go. Oh, come on. Attaboy. That's another pretty good fish. That's not near as big as that first one that I hooked into, but it's a good fish. There we go. Now we've just been drifting along this whole time that I've been fishing, dragging these baits really slow, pulling them through the water. I'm driving across these flats and along these channel edges, looking for these bigger catfish, looking for schools of shad, and slowly dragging these baits through them, waiting for a bite. So that's another good fish. I'm going to get him put back in the water here. Let's go out and catch some more local fishing reports while I see if I can't catch another one.
Hi folks, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Breckland Ranch. Family owned, family operated. Breckland is a family destination and they invite you to bring your youngsters with you. As a matter of fact, 12 and under, hunt's free. The lodging, the food, everything is what you'd expect it to be at Breckland Ranch. Now, with fall transitioning into winter, fishing action doesn't have to slow down. Just adapt your locations and techniques to those species that will be most active during the winter months, like your smallmouths on Texoma or Belton, where you can fish crankbaits and jerkbaits, the hard plastic 3 treble hook kind, along the rocks for your smallmouth bass. Now keep in mind you'll want to fish around places where rocks change, either points, cuts, or places where big house-sized boulders turn into car-sized boulders, turn into maybe small car-sized boulders. For crappie, Lake of the Pines and Lake Fork, 2 excellent destinations. You'll see the Armada on Fork out by the dam, and on Lake of the Pines, you'll see the crappie fishermen over structure. Both of these lakes have regulation changes you must keep the first 25 crappie you catch after the 1st of December. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about the striper action. You'll find them on Whitney and, of course, at Texoma. They're great winter fish. Use your top waters and your live bait and jigging spoons a little deeper. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, Texas Outdoors Journal brings you this week's report, and our December issue is now on sale on newsstands with a great lineup of holiday hunting features and columns. Plus our team of pros lets you know about the fall winter fishing hotspots on area lakes and on the coast. Pick up a copy of Texas Outdoors Journal on newsstands or subscribe and take advantage of our Christmas subscription special at texasoutdoorsjournal.com or call 713-957-3997. Well, it's Thanksgiving weekend. What a great time to give thanks for all we have in Texas and to spend time with family and friends. Blast and cast options to hunt ducks and then fish continue through this Sunday when the first split of the South Zone duck season closes. Now and through the Christmas holidays is also a great time to be on the water and catch some fish. There are plenty of options. On the upper coast, it begins with bird activity pointing the way to fish. Mid-coast anglers will wade fish to find solitary sow trout. On the lower Laguna Madre, a smorgasbord awaits. Specks, reds, flounder, black drum, sheepshead, and mangrove snapper around deep water pilings, plus snook in the Brownsville Ship Channel await. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low tide each day. I'm Bill Olson, wishing each of you a happy Thanksgiving and hoping to see you on the coast.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Marine, go boldly. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
So the wind died down quite a bit. It's starting to pick back up just a little, but it's died down significantly from when I was fishing this morning. This morning I was drift fishing with the wind, allowing the wind to push me across the lake and using those drift socks to slow the boat down. And the wind has let up quite a bit. So what I'm doing now is I have the nose of the boat pointed into the wind. I have a smaller drift sock here off the back of the boat, and I'm using planer boards. So what I've let about 50, 75 feet of line out on a rod, and then I've clipped a planer board on the fishing line, and then I let some more line out. And what that does is it pushes the line and the baits and the catfish rigs way out to the sides of the boat. So rather than going like drifting with the wind and just moving along and just covering a path of water that is the width of the boat, this is allowing me to cover a much larger area of water. So I've driven through here, used my side imaging, found some of these big catfish on my side imaging, marked them with my GPS, and then now I'm coming back over them with my trolling motor, and I'm using these planer boards to spread the baits out so I'm covering a much larger area of water. So I've got 2 rods with planers on each side of the boat at various stages, so they're not pushed up against each other. And then I've got 2 rods that I'm going to run right straight off the back of the boat. So I've probably got, you know, a 300 or 400 yard stretch of water covered right here as I go through. So I'm going to get the rest of these rods out, see if I can't hook into another big catfish, and let's go out and catch your local fishing reports while I do that.
Hey, while legendary anglers Bobby and Billy Murray may be best known for their bass fishing accomplishments, Bobby actually won the very first Bassmaster Classic back in 1971. I can assure you both those guys are very avid, passionate crappie anglers. And I ran into both of them recently at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and I thought it was amusing that the identical twins basically said the same thing to me, although I met them on different occasions there. They said, "Gary, Thanksgiving is the official start of the winter crappie season. We're excited. We're going to be on the water for the next several weeks crappie fishing." The great thing about crappie this time of year is that you can literally catch them at just about any depth. They can be shallow just under the docks all the way down to the bottom 30 to 35 feet of water. If you're fishing from a boat, use your electronics to figure out where the depth is for the primary bulk of your shad, and then use that to concentrate fishing for your crappie. If you're fishing from a dock, start shallow and then incrementally go down till you figure out where they are biting best, and just repeat that throughout the outing. Great rig for right now is a double rig. Use your 2-inch Bobby Garland baby shad on top, and then put your little itty bit slab slayer or swimmer on the bottom. Also right now, the white bass are really starting to move into their wintering areas. Look for them in the big first bend in your major creeks, or up into a bend in the river channels that have some depth. Look from about 15 to 20 foot on some of those points near their channel. You can catch them. More details on that to come. For now, enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. You can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
I was expecting some difficult fishing today with this warm front we had. Earlier this week, the weather was down in the 30s, and then today it's pushing 90, and it was really warm yesterday, and that usually makes for tough catfishing this time of year when the fish are trying to transition into a winter pattern. I want to take you out and show you a big catfish that I hooked within the last week. Here's another really good blue catfish I caught just a couple of days prior when the weather was really cold and nasty just before this warm front hit. I was using the same techniques, drift fishing, moving the boat very slowly, dragging pieces of cut bait with those whisker seeker rattling catfish rigs, and waiting for these big blue catfish to come along.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday at 5:30, or catch the repeat airing Saturday morning at 8. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the how-to button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Luz, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Jean LaRue Bass Baits and Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leaders in soft plastic lures innovation. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Jacob wants to know, does lure color really matter? For the answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Keith Combs.
You know, that's a very good question. I believe that lure color makes a difference more than we give it credit for. Yes, fish will bite several different colors, but there's always one color that they will bite best. And I can tell you, I spent a lot of time on Lake Falcon, and it's a very murky lake. And as a guide out there, I got to see firsthand where small color changes sometimes made a difference. Not between catching fish, but between catching a winning bag and just catching a good sack of fish. So absolutely, even in murky water, experiment around with colors. If you're not happy with what you're catching, change the color. Change it subtly at first. Maybe you don't have to do something drastic, but if you're not catching what you want, always make a change.
Thank you, Keith. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link on the right side of the page, and send it in. Now, one of you wins a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
This week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Tyler Patterson of Burnett, Texas, showing his giant 45-inch redfish caught at Port Mansfield, Texas. It was only 1 pound shy of beating the Texas State youth record for redfish. To enter the contest, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com and click the Costa Catch box on the right. Follow the instructions to send in your big fish photo. You could win a new pair of Costa sunglasses. See all the Costa sunglasses at their website, go back to our site and click the Costa logo. You can see all the frame and lens styles, including the style I'm wearing today, called the Blackfin. This week's gear pick is this little device that I've been using on my catfish rigs today, called a Rattle from Whisker Seeker Tackle. Now, for years we thought that catfish just responded to smell alone. But through my experimentation, I started to realize that catfish responded to sound as well. And a lot of times, sound can make a significant difference in the number of fish that you catch. So Whisker Seeker Tackle has developed this product here called the Rattle. You can put these on any catfish rig in pretty much any configuration. And when you put this on your rig, whether you're drifting or fishing on anchor, it takes very little movement at all, and it's going to make noise. And sound and vibration is going to travel through the water and really help those catfish lock in on that bait. To get more free catfishing tips and learn how you can go out and catch more and bigger catfish on your next fishing trip, head over to catfishedge.com for more details. You'll find tons of articles, videos, and other free resources to help you catch more catfish. You can also get more details on guided fishing trips with me. Check out my books, videos, signature series catfish rods, and tackle and gear that I've developed as well. To get more information about the techniques, gear, and equipment I'm using in this week's show, head over to catfishedge.com/Fox for more details. Join us for next week's season finale episode of Fox Sports Outdoors. We'll have all the big fish catches from the entire 2017 season, along with lots of fun and our famous bloopers and blunders. This is one episode you'll not want to miss, and it happens right here next week. Thanks for joining me for today's show. I hope you learned something about catching these big blue catfish in fall and winter. And remember that these techniques will work anywhere across the region that you have blue catfish, so get out there and give them a try. If you want more information about fishing with me, more catfishing tips, or more details on the gear and equipment and techniques that I used in today's show, head over to catfishedge.com. Barry will be back next week. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all. And I stole Barry's line.